Good morning. So in the last class, we have completed the interfaces. So in that, we have seen the declaration of an interface and then implementation of an interface and then using of nested interface. And then we have seen the interfaces with inheritance concepts. How do you implement the inheritance concepts in the interfaces? And then we have seen the static methods and default methods, and then we have seen the functional interfaces and lambda functions, lambda expressions, and then at the end we have seen the annotations, and then we have seen the annotation. So this is the third unit. So third unit consists of arrays, inheritance, and then interfaces. Arrays, inheritance, and interfaces. So these are the features of object-oriented concepts. So if you go for any object-oriented programming language, you will get the arrays, inheritance, interfaces. So every object-oriented programming can have these features: classes, objects, methods, arrays, inheritance, polymorphism, and interfaces, and then constructors. So in the meanwhile, we have seen the purpose of the constructors also. So this is all about the interfaces. So do you have any doubts regarding these interfaces and programs and interface? So if you have any doubts, let us discuss now. So you don't have any doubts. Very fine. So annotations program. Okay. Other than that, any doubts? So annotations. So in the last class, we have discussed about these annotations. So annotations means just like in commenting. So comments means we are giving the comments for user, programmer. Those are the comments. The comments are not read by the compiler, but the annotations are read by the compiler. We are giving the commenting for the compiler, compiler purpose. Compiler purpose. Those are known as annotations. So we have user-defined annotations and predefined annotations. So annotation is identified by @ symbol, @ override. This is the predefined annotation. So all these annotations are placed in the package java.language.annotation, lang package, java.lang.annotation. And then, so this is the simple program to illustrate the concept of annotation. So here in inheritance, we will get the method overriding. In inheritance, we will get the method overriding. That means same method, public void display, same method. So this is also public void display, same method. So this is also public void display. We have three methods. We have three methods. So three methods for three different classes, for XX, for YY, for ZZ. So for three different classes, have same method name, same parameter list, same return type. So in this situation, the compiler gets the ambiguity. So which, suppose I have called the objx.display, objx.display. So what does it mean? Display method has to be executed. Which display method? Here we have three display methods. We have three display methods. So I am calling objx.display. So which display method will execute? So the compiler gets the ambiguity. So for that purpose, we are writing the annotation here. We are writing the commenting here at the rate override. It means that compiler knows that this is an overridden function, overridden method. So that means for display we have in superclass we have the another method display. So like that we can write the at the rate override, at the rate override. So this is an predefined annotation. This is an predefined annotation. Like that we have so many types of annotation. So based on the purpose we can use this annotations at the rate override. So this is the basic concept of annotations. So let us see one user defined annotation. Already we have seen the syntax. So annotations can be defined by using an interface. By using an interface, we can define an annotation. So at the rate interface, at the rate interface, annotation name is my annotation. So in this we have the body. So the body consists of a single method. The body annotation body must have only abstract method, only abstract methods. So no constants will be present in the annotations. Annotation interface consists of only abstract methods, only methods. This method consists, annotation consists of only methods. So this method can be treated as a field value. This method can be treated as field value. That means this can be treated as variable. That means value is equal to 1, value is equal to 2. Like that, the compiler will assume. So this is the purpose of user-defined interface. And then we can have the default value also. In which case we have the default case. If all the cases are went wrong, then default case will be executed. In that way, we have the default value also. Default, the value is 0. Default, the value is 0. Or we can assign these values also. We can assign the values based on the flower braces. We can assign the values. The values can be assigned by using the class. By using the class, we can assign the values to this method. We can assign the values to this method. So like that, we can create the annotations. Let us see one program. So let us check the simple program. So let us see this. So let us check this program. So I am importing the package, import java.lang.reflect. So reflect is a package. So reflect is a package. Already we have discussed in that target method and object we have target class, at the rate target. So all these things can be present in the reflect class. So reflect package consists of so many classes like method. Method is a class. So here we are importing the class method. Already in the previous class we have discussed this one. So there are some predefined classes here. Here the predefined class is method. Method is a class name here. Method is a class name here. So this class can have so many interfaces and so many methods. So we are utilizing this class. We are importing the method class here. So the method class can exist in the reflect package. Reflect package. So which in turn exist in the lang package. So which in turn exist in the Java package. So like that we can import the method class. We are importing the method predefined class method here. And then simply we are importing the annotation. So in order to use the predefined annotations, we can use the annotation package, lang.annotation, and we are importing the all the classes and interfaces under the annotation. That's why we have kept the star. Star means all the contents of the package will be imported into the program. So this is the importing, and then we are using some predefined annotation at the rate retention. Already we have seen the retention concept. That means the lifetime of the annotation. So the annotation can exist up to the compile time, or the annotation can exist up to the runtime. So by using this retention annotation, we can give the retention policy. That means uh, uh, whether the annotation can exist up to the runtime or up to the class, or the annotation can be treated as a comment. So here I'm giving the annotation retention policy as runtime. That means the annotation will be valid up to the up to the execution of the program, up to the execution of the program. That is runtime. Then we will give the runtime, or up to the creation of the class file. Then we will give the class retention policy dot class. Like that we can give the retention policies. And then target. So we have seen that target also. We have seen that target annotation also. So at the rate target element type dot method. That means element type dot method means we are going to define a target for the method. We are going to annotate, we are performing the annotation for the method. The method has some type. The type will be defined here. So we have seen element type dot method, element type dot variable, element type dot constructor. Like that we have so many target methods. And then I am defining here the interface, not interface, annotation. So this is the definition of the annotation. User defined annotation. Here I am defining an annotation. So this is the definition of annotation. So annotation can be defined by using the interfaces. By using the interfaces. At the rate interface, annotation name single. Annotation name single. So braces open, braces close. Within that we have the abstract method. Only single abstract method. That is double value. Double value. So this is the annotation. The annotation, user defined annotation is defined here. So in order to give the values for this, that means some data to this annotation, we need a class. In order to implement an interface, we need a class. So that's why I'm creating a class single data. So the class name is single data, and then I am assigning the value as at the rate single 3.141. I am assigning this value as 3.141. Whenever you call the method value, whenever you invoke the method value, the value will be 3.14. So we can assign these values by using the interface name. That means interface means annotation name. Here annotation name is single. At the rate single, the value is 3.14. So defines annotation value 3.14. And then the method, suppose some public method, public void display system.out.println, some printf statements he has given. So he has closed this method and he has closed the class. So like a simple interface. Here we have defined the interface. In order to implement an interface, we need a class. So I am created the class. I have created the class and I have defined some interface value to the method, interface method, annotation value. Then I am defining the main class and main public class single value. So this is the main class, driver class. In this we have the public static void main method, and this we have the main method, and we are defining some exception. So this will be coming in the next session. Next unit we will get the exception handling. So in that we can discuss in detail throws exception. And then I am creating an object data. I am creating an object data which is of the type single data. The class name I have given single data. Single data is the class name. It's equal to new single data. So I have created an object. This is the syntax for creation of object. And then I am defining another object m of type method. Of type method. Already we have imported the method class. So we are defining an object of type method class. So we have to give the class name here. The class name is method here. So method class is already imported into the program. Method m. M is an object is equal to, so these are the predefined methods. Data dot get class, get method, in braces display. So this is the some predefined methods exist in the class method. These are the predefined methods. And then I am creating an object for annotation also. The annotation name is single. Annotation name is single, object name is single is equal to m dot get annotation. M dot get annotation. Single dot class. Single is the annotation name. Class is the syntax. That means target class. Element type dot class. Element type is single dot class. So this is the get annotation. So this will be present in the class method. And then we are printing the values single dot value. Single means object. We have created an object for annotation. Annotation object dot value. Value is the method. Annotation method. And then we are displaying the data dot display. So this is the simple program to illustrate the user defined annotations. User defined annotations. We have so many variations. Generally, we will use the predefined annotations. Generally, we will use the predefined annotations. So that's why we are using the so many retention, target, like that we can use the so many things. So in general, simply we can use the predefined annotations. So user defined annotations are rarely used. Mostly 80% of the annotations we will use the predefined annotations only. For compiler, so we are giving the annotations and we are commenting the program for the purpose of compiler. So no one bothers about the compiler. The programmer cannot bother about the compiler. So anyway, compiler can execute the program without these annotations. Also, compiler can execute this program, but with some errors or some warnings. So we are making the compiler's job very easy. So that is the advantage of annotations. Without annotations also we can write the programs. Just for the purpose of compiler, we are using the annotations. So this is the some concepts in the annotations. So any doubts? So next, let us start the packages. Tomorrow's class, we can start the packages. So let us see the syllabus, remaining syllabus. We have completed the 3 units. And then we have left with the packages and Java library. and then exception handling. So next unit is packages and Java library, and then exception handling. So this is the fourth unit. So we'll see the packages. That means we have so many packages in the Java, nearly 200, nearly 250 packages. For up to Java 8, we have nearly 200 packages. So we are using the Java SE 15. I think the number will be increased. So nearly 200 packages will be available in Java. So that the mostly used packages, util.java, language.java. So mostly up to now we have seen these two packages, util and lang, language.java, java.io.star. So in previous versions we have used that one. For every program we have used the import java.io.star. That means input and output hash include stdio.h, like that. We have the Java IO import java.io.star. So like that we have so many packages. So we'll see the most important, most widely used packages in this chapter, and then we can have the packages of two types. That means user defined packages and predefined packages. So every concept has two things: user defined one and predefined one, predefined packages and user defined packages. So we have nearly 200 predefined packages in Java, and then we can, if you want, we can create our own package also. So you can create that package also. We will see in next class. Then after packages, we'll see the exception handling. After packages, we will see the exception handling. That means if any runtime error occurs, how do you handle that runtime error? Throws a try catch blocks will be there. Already in C++, you have come across these things. So same concept can be applied for Java also, with a little syntax difference. So let us see that. So this is all about the fourth unit. Next, in the fifth unit, we have string handling, and then we have multi-threaded programming, and then Java database connectivity. Java database connectivity. So another 3 units, another 3 chapters. String handling, this is very important, and then multi-threading, this is very important. Java database connectivity. So this is very important. So last chapter is very important for your projects, your real-time projects, or if you want to implement anything, the fifth chapter is very important. If any nowadays companies needs the multi-threaded programming. That means all the systems are comes with the multiple cores. So why not we can implement the multi-threads in the Java program. This is very useful concept. And then string handling also very important. And then database connectivity. That means if you design any web pages, web portals based on the Java, then we need a connectivity, database connectivity from front end to back end. There is a connectivity. For connection, we have some code, some driver code. We can call it as JDBC, ODBC drivers. Like that, we have some connectivity code. So how the database connection will be done in Java and database, how the this connection, suppose if the X value is 10, X value is 20. That means suppose take the login page. I have written the program for a login page. If you give the username and password, if the two username and password matches with the content in the database, then your page will be opened. That means for your page and your database, there should be some connection. Then only the output will be executed. Then only the process, the Java logic will be executed. So the here front end is done with HTML. The connection can be done with any other language like JavaScript. So by using the JavaScript, you can do these things. So in that JavaScript, you can write the connection code. So the connection code for that page and that database server. So that we will see in the next unit. So fifth unit is very, very important for your projects and job purposes. So this fourth unit is also very, very important: packages, exception handling. So in the real time, if you get any project, means you have to create your own package. So in that package, you will create some interfaces, you will create some methods, and you will create some classes. Exception handling also, errors. If you get any errors, the errors must be properly handled. So that can be possible if you include the exception handling concepts in your programs. So whenever you include the exception handling concepts in your program, so it becomes some it will be added advantage to the programmer. That means the robustness of the program will be increased. The Java is a robust programming language. That means unusual situations, how the program will execute. So that can be done by using, that can be achieved by using the exception handling. So that also we will see. So maximum till now we have seen the basic core Java concept. Core Java concepts we have completed. Maximum 90% of the core Java concepts we have completed. So you can practice them in different environments. So you can write your own programs. Then only you will get to know the errors and you will get to write your own programs. So if you get any jobs based on Java, means they will give the problem, and you have to write the program to solve that problem. Then you have to write your own logic. Then you have to write your own classes. Then you have to write your own method. Then you have to create some necessary objects to access those things, whether you have to give the public, or whether you have to give the private, or whether you have to give the protected. So that you have to decide. You have to take the decision to choose the things, whether I can put the public, or whether I can put the private, or whether I can leave as default. So that decision making things you have to get, that can be achieved whenever you practice the programs. So you have to practice the programs based upon the concepts. So we have Java Point, we have W3 schools, and we have so many uh, platforms. So this is all about the remaining syllabus. So we'll complete it. Then textbook. Already I have said this one. Java one step ahead, Anita said. So if you want to learn Java, means if you have the textbook, whenever you need, you can refer it. So this textbook can be useful for you till your lifetime. So it is nearly 300 rupees. Market price is 1000 rupees, but in Amazon we will get the textbook 300 rupees. So if you really want to get these things, so you purchase this textbook. So anyway, we will get the material. That is no issues. The material will get the material from anywhere. So if you have textbook, means you will get the some extra concepts. You will get the some extra concept and extra programs also. So whenever after 2 years, if you want to refer something, means you will get, you have this textbook. So this is all about the remaining things in Java. So we'll complete it within 1 month, nearly 1 month. And then one more thing. So if you want to get the certificate, Java, NPTEL. So I think you know the Swayam portals, NPTEL Swayam. So in that you can register the Java course. I can show you Swayam. So Government of India initiative. So this is the Swayam portal. I hope you will see the screen. Screen కనపడుతుందా? సో ఇది స్వయం పోర్టల్ అంటారు వీటిని. సో దీంట్లో ఏంటంటే మనకి డిఫరెంట్ కోర్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. మీకు ఏదైనా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనుకోండి, లాజికల్ థింకింగ్ సంథింగ్ ఏదైనా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనుకోండి, అక్కడ టైప్ చేయండి, ఈ అవైలబుల్ కోర్సెస్ అన్నీ వస్తాయి. సో ఈ కోర్సెస్లో మీరు రిజిస్టర్ అయితే మీరు ఆ కోర్సెస్ని మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయొచ్చు. అంటే 12 వీక్ కోర్స్ అని, 8 వీక్స్ కోర్స్ అని ఉంటుంది. సో జావా ఉందో లేదో చూద్దాం. జావా so we have so many courses in Java. So we have 2 courses, Java and programming in Java. So these are the IIT professors. The course is designed by the IIT professors. So if you want to really know the essence from the IIT professors, you can register for these courses. So check the syllabus. So this is the 12 weeks course, 26/7/2021. So starts from 26/7. So let us check this one. Starts at 25/3. So 25/3 means already I think registration is closed for this. So click on this one. So click on this one. You can join the course also. You can join the course. So you see the syllabus. So installation steps, everything will be given. So this is the 15-week course. 15-week course. So at the end of the course, they will put the exam. So if you pass this exam, you will get the certificate, NPTEL Swayam certificate. So this certificate is valid. Some universities can consider this certificate has 2 courses. That means 2 credits. Some universities will give 2 credits. I think for you Art 19, I think next semester you must register for this course. You have some credits for this course. So if you register in this course and get the certificate, then you will get the 3 credits. So for the next semester, you can practice it from Java. So register for a course, Java course, and practice it. How they are explaining the programs, how they are explaining the concepts. So you can get the certificate also, Java certificate. So very useful if you get this Java certificate. So register for this course, Java. All of you, everyone, if you interested in this course, you can register. If you want to get the certificate, means you can pay the money. I think 1,000 rupees. For the students, there may be some concession. So you can register and you can pay the fee and you can write the exam and you can listen those topics and you can submit the assignments. So day-to-day assessment will be there. So you can have the certificate. So let us check this one, programming in Java. So this will start at after 2 months, not 2 months, July, 26 July. So this course will start at 26 July up to October 15. So in this syllabus is Java elements, inputs and output handling, encapsulation, inheritance, exception handling, multi-threaded, applets, swings, networks, JDBC connections, interfaces and packages. So you can register for any course, any Java course in the Swayam and get certified. It will value to your resume. So examination centers will be in around Eluru only, either Ramchandra College or our college, or you can get the some Vijayawada also. If the less number of participants, then either Bhimavaram or Vijayawada. 90% will get the Ramachandra or our college. So this is all about the courses and certification, core Java certification. So if you are interested, you can register and get certified. So then what about labs? I think we have not yet started any lab program. Let us see from next week onwards. Let us start the lab also based upon the timings. We'll start the lab after from June 1st. We can start the laboratory sessions also. So any doubts regarding this? So okay, we can conclude, and then we will start the packages from tomorrow. From tomorrow, we can start the packages. So okay, thank you. Practice the programs on interfaces and before chapters, arrays and inheritances, and then classes, methods, objects, and some basic programs also. So you can get the programs, whatever the programs I have explained in the class that has kept in the Edmido group also. So you can practice those programs, or you can practice your own programs also. So I think each for each concepts I have written some programs. For each concept, I have written some programs. So based upon that programs, you can get the concept of that program. That means for implementation of that program, the concept will be uh, explained. So okay, thank you.